Smith Proby started a live video. Hello, hello. Hi, everyone out there. Hi, IG. Hi, Facebook. Share this video with your friends. That's right. All right, you guys, share this video with your friends. I like that notification popping up, telling everybody to share this video with your friends. That is awesome. You guys hit like and share on this video right now. Hit like and share on this video. So hi, everyone out there. Elaine here from PROBY'S Tax and Accounting for a Thursday afternoon Q&A. So you guys get to ask questions at the end of this live. You guys get to put your questions at the bottom of the live, and I'll come back and get them. And so I want you guys to share this with your friends, right? Hit like and share. We're gonna be talking about some very important stuff today that a lot of you guys need, whether you were incorporated business or whether you are an individual or a self-employed business. We're gonna talk about what we're gonna talk about today is gonna be very useful for you. So hi, Lerna. Hey, you watching? Hi, too. Thanks for jumping on here. Hey, you guys. So today we want to talk about the PPP loan, which was the money given from the government for businesses to pay their employees and to help them stay in business, right? So, you know, of course, here from PROBY'S Tax and Accounting, we are very concerned and very passionate about making sure that you guys do all the right thing to stay in business. And right now, specifically with this PPP loan, which is, you know, most people are coming to the end of their covered period. We want to make sure that you guys are doing the right thing with the money so you can get it forgiven, because you don't want to have to pay any of this money back, right? Okay, so hi, Laverne. Thanks for jumping on. Yes, hey, Maria. Thank you guys for tuning in. So today we're going to talk about the 3 ways to make sure that your PPP loan is forgiven, guys. So keep in mind, the PPP loan is the payroll protection program that the money that the government gave the businesses so they can pay their employees, right? And so you were able to get up to, you know, $2 million. Some people got up to $2 million. For the small business, if you had less than 500 employees, you were able to qualify for this loan. Now, I know a lot of you guys have gotten this loan. I've got a lot of clients who have gotten this money anywhere from $2,500 up to millions of dollars. And so what it is it comes to you as a loan. And then, of course, once you get it forgiven, you don't have to pay any of this money back. So today I want to make sure that you guys are not having to pay any of this money back, okay? So listen to the 3 ways to ensure that you don't have to pay this money back and that your loan is forgiven. So we're going to talk about 3 ways to make that happen. So you guys, share this video. Share this. I know a lot of people need this information. Share this video, okay? So number one. Payroll costs, okay? Payroll costs. You guys that got a PPP loan, payroll costs has to be 60% of that money. So you must take 60% of the money that you have gotten for your PPP loan, and it must go to your employees, right? You have to pay them for their earnings. You can pay them for, you know, for leave that they may have had to take. You can, you know, as long as it's covering their payroll cost, 60% of that money, you must make sure that that's what happens to 60% of that money, okay? Covered salary, covered wages, any commission, any paid leave. That's what you have to do with that. Now, there is, though, of course, a covered period, what they call a covered period that you have to pay. It's not just any payroll. It has to be within the covered period. And so what they do is they give you 24 weeks. After you receive that money, you have 24 weeks, which is about 168 days. That's your covered period. You can use that period to ensure that you paid 60% of that money out for payroll, right? And so, there are some businesses, of course, that they had to rehire employees back on staff. So they had to build up their payroll again, because before COVID, they had a lot of people on staff. After COVID, a lot of people had to leave because businesses were closed. And once you got the PPP loan, what you had to do was rehire people back on staff. So they gave you up to 24 weeks to get your people back on staff so that you can cover the amount of payroll that you had when you got the loan, all right? So there's this covered period of, say, 24 weeks. Once you got the loan, that you have to pay 60% out to your employees. So you must make sure that happens, right? You have up until December 31st to make this happen. Up until December 31st to make sure that anything after December 31st will not count. So try to, if you are one of those companies whose employees were laid off, who had to rehire folks back, try to get everybody back to work as much as you can so you can use 60% of the money you got for your PPP loan, because your PPP loan was based on your 2019 payroll when you were fully staffed, okay? So make sure that you hire people back on your payroll so you can meet the 60% threshold for your employees so that you are qualified to get this loan forgiven. So that's number one, okay? Payroll costs, right? Now, number two, there is the non-payroll costs. So 60% is for payroll costs, and there's another 40% that goes to non-payroll costs, right? Now let's talk about what those things are. Your non-payroll costs are covered mortgage interest payments, right? You can pay your rent or your lease with the other 40%. You can pay your utilities, right, with the other 40%. And but there is the utilities, of course, is including your electricity, your gas, your light, water and things like that. But these bills must have incurred after February the 15th, guys. You can't pay any past due bills. You can't go back and say, well, I was behind in 2019, so let me take this money and go and pay all the past due bills. It has to be expenses that you incur from February the 15th, 2020. Those are the expenses, those are the utilities, those are the rent, mortgage statement. That is included in this covered period, okay? So that's what you have to make sure that you pay the bills that are included in your covered period. So nothing incurred prior to February 20th, it will be considered as part of the non-payroll costs, right? So so there's two ways, and guys, we're talking about three ways today of ensuring that your PPP loan is forgiven. For those of you who just jumped on here, hi everybody that jumping on. I'm Elaine Proby, CEO of PROBY'S Tax and Accounting, and here in Los Angeles, and we have a financial service firm. And so I wanted to make sure that everybody stay in business. And I know this PPP loan it's coming to a point where we're gonna have to start getting our information together, and I want to make sure you guys are on path to get all of this forgiven. All right? Okay. So let's go to the third way. The third way for you to make sure that your PPP loan is forgiven, number 3, right, is the forgiveness application. You must put in a forgiveness application and documentation. So you have to apply for it to be forgiven. It's not an automatic thing, not because they just automatically deposited the money in your bank account. It's not an automatic forgiveness, okay? You have to fill out the forgiveness application. There's a form 3508 or a 3508EZ, depending on the size of your business and what you got, that you must fill out, okay? And on that form is where you are going to be putting how much of that money went to your payroll, right? And it has to be, of course, you want to make sure that's 60%. So on the form, you'll have to put how much of that money went to your payroll costs, and then you will have to have your documentation to back that up. So it's not just, this is my payroll, right? You will have to have your 941, which is your payroll quarterly returns that you filled out with the federal government. You will have to have your payroll quarterly returns that you fill out with the state that shows these employees and how much money you pay those guys. So all those quarterly reports, they're going to have to back up your payroll report, all right? And the payroll report can be from any independent payroll service. You can just have the report on there that shows a list of employees and how much money is paid to them, okay? So in addition to the payroll report, you need to have your 941, which is the federal payroll tax form. And you'll have to have your state payroll tax form that shows everybody that got paid. And those would be your backup documentation for your payroll, okay? And keep in mind, again, it's for the covered period, okay? The 24 weeks, that's for the covered period we're talking about. All right, and so also for the other part of the forgiveness, the 40% for your on payroll, your non-payroll cost, you have to have your receipts, and you have to have canceled checks for the mortgage interest payments that you made, or your lease, or your rent. You got to have your statement for the utilities as well to back up the monies that you paid out for the utilities. So you got to have the backup documentation as well to submit with your application. The application for forgiveness, okay? Remember, you have to put that in. And so you got to have the backup documentation to submit with that information. And then, of course, you will get all of your PPP loan forgiven. All right? So that is my 3 ways to ensure that you guys will make sure that you get all of your PPP loan forgiven, okay? And let's recap what those ways are, what the 3 ways are. I'm going to recap that again for you guys, okay? Number 1 is payroll costs. All right? Payroll costs, 60% has to be payroll costs. Number 2, the non-payroll costs, 40%. Got to have documentation. And number 3, you must apply. You have to fill out the application form, and you have to turn it in along with your documentation, right? And the application form, those are due, like say 10 months after the covered period. So we talked about what the covered period is, which is you have 24 weeks. It cannot extend past December 31st. And then you have 10 months after that to make sure that all your documentation goes to the bank, okay? Or whoever give you your PPP loan, right? So guys, once again, this is the Q&A. Thursday afternoon from PROBY'S Tax and Accounting. Again, I'm Elaine Proby, CEO of PROBY'S Tax and Accounting here, financial service firm in LA for over 35 years. You guys put your question at the bottom if you have any regarding this. These 3 ways, you must make sure that your loan is forgiven. And I know you guys want to know what happened if it's not. If it's not, it is a loan and you're going to have to start paying on it. There's an interest rate applies to it, and it's payable within 2 to 5 years. So you will have to pay that money back, or any portion of the money, of course, that you're not able to have forgiven. All right? What happens to the money if they don't forgive it? Yep, that's the question. All right, great. Hi, Lee Smith. Yes. So, you know, like I just mentioned, if it's not forgiven, you have to pay back the portion. If all of it is not forgiven, that's fine. The portion that is not forgiven, you would have to pay that money back. It's a low interest rate. It's like 1%, I believe. It's like, 3 to 5 years, you can pay that money back. And what happened is once the bank determine what portion of the loan is not forgiven, then they'll turn the rest of it into that loan and give you payment information that you can obviously make payments to that loan, okay? But what we want to do, we want to make sure that all of it is forgiven, you guys. You have time in the covered period. You have time to make sure that you staff up. You have time to make sure that you get employees back on staff and pay them. And so we want to make sure you do all this stuff so none of this money has to be paid back, right? We don't want to do that. All right, yes. So someone remind me on the screen there, this is PROBY'S Tax and Accounting, right? The phone number here to reach us is 323-290-9034 if you guys have any questions regarding your PPP loan and how to get it forgiven, which is what we want to talk about today. All right. How does this affect businesses that are closed now? Okay, so yeah, if you that's a good question. If you got a PPP loan, which was based on your 2019 payroll, right? When you had all your employees and staff, and now if you were not able to rehire these people back, or you were not able to reopen your business for some reason, your business is closed, and I know there were shutdowns that were mandatory, so there's some businesses weren't able to operate. So this is the reason why the PPP loan originally was supposed to be paid back in 10 weeks. They gave you 2.5 months, and after that they want the money. But they have, in answer to your question, took into consideration some of the businesses that were not able to open. They weren't able to rehire their staff back, and that's one of the reasons why the PPP loan, the covered period, was extended from the 6 weeks to the 24-week period that you have to really staff up and get people back on payroll, right? Okay, so that's what happened. Now, if you are not going to open at all and your business is seriously closed, and you got the PPP loan, of course, if it's not used, then it would be considered a loan, and you would have to pay it back. Now, if you're able to open, you want to hire your folks back and pay them with this money. Okay, Best for them to have the money than for you to have to pay a loan on it. All right. So that's a great question. That's a great question. I want to thank all you guys for jumping on here today. I know this is a very, very important topic for a lot of businesses, and also it applies to individual as well. If you were self-employed, I know a lot of self-employed people who have gotten the PPP loan as well. You know, and like I said, some of them from as low as $2,500 up to millions of dollars. And if you're one of those people, you also need to, you know, fill out the forgiveness form and get that into the bank so that your loan can be forgiven. Okay. All right, guys. So once again, Elaine Proby here, PROBY'S Tax and Accounting, and we have a financial service business that can take care of all of your financial needs, all your tax needs, accounting, payroll, business consultation, tax problem resolution, whatever services that you need. Give us a call at our office, 323-290-9034, or visit our website at probiztax.com. And you guys, if you need any help or have any question regarding your forgiveness application form, don't forget, that has to be done. Your forgiveness application form, give us a call and we'll be able to help you out with that. Okay? All right. So we want to make sure that you stay in business and you get this loan forgiven. So I think if any more questions you guys put at the bottom of the screen, I'll be back to get those. If not, I want you guys to have a wonderful day. I want to thank all you guys for jumping on here, and make sure that when you get off here, you know, hit like at the bottom and share this video with your friends. All right, so I will see you guys back here next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.